Welcome to Conversations with Kay. I'm Kay Ryder, and every week I welcome Vermonters who are leaders in the fields of government, healthcare, education, the arts, and community life. My returning guest, is Steve MacQueen, who's the Artistic Director of the Flynn Center for the Performing Arts. Welcome.
Great, so glad to be here. It's always fun.
Nice to have you. How long have you been the Artistic Director now?
4 years, almost exactly.
Great.
4 years.
Great. And you like it?
My first term is over. I love it. I love
Good.
it. It's one of the best thing I ever did was come up to Vermont, for sure.
Oh yeah, great. Well, we're glad to have you. Now, what does an artistic director do?
Well, he makes it up as he goes along. That's not the right answer, though, is it? Essentially, I could also be called the programming director because we program. I mean, we put the programs in that people come and see, and we create the activities around the programs that engage the community, that engage the schools, that engage other people. Also, programming brings in the grants, to do a lot of grant work, do a lot of that kind of stuff. Anything that keeps the programming and the artistic side, as opposed to the business side, viable and moving forward.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a big job, so you must be busy.
We're all busy, aren't we?
As usual, you're presenting a wide variety of shows for the season. Another exciting season coming up. You have brought some excerpts from some of your shows. We get a little sneak preview here.
Sure.
So let's go to those right now. Now, Esperanza Spalding, can you tell us a little bit about her?
I brought some of the little more offbeat clips that I love. Esperanza Spalding is a jazz bassist, young woman. She won Best New Artist Grammy a few years ago. Beat out Justin Bieber, which upset Justin Bieber's fans terribly. Ooh. But she's a tremendously talented young bass player. Played jazz, and then she made a couple of kind of pop records, became a star, kind of a pop star. But what I love about her is that she's this sort of questing, looking for the next thing. And this project she's bringing here is called Emily's De-Evolution, and it's sort of a theatrical stage, prog rock, weird jazz piece. And you get a sense of sort of how offbeat it is from the clip.
Okay, well, let's watch that one.
All right.
Live your life.
We're gonna show it. Come on. Why don't we seize the day and frost it in our way? Won't you dare take a slice of this sitting out paradise? Eating it with your eyes, just shy of your spots of rice. To reach out and lift the glass, but there's no one here to ask. Marching line, for no reason, no rhyme, no reason to dream about paradise picking out. I wanna break the rules with you and see the dream come true. All I need you to do
Oh,
I
wow.
love that. It amazes me that she's playing that fretless 5-string bass while she's singing that ridiculous melody line, while she's dancing around.
Yeah.
That kind of level of brain partition blows
Like
me
Natalie
away.
McMasters can rush around on stage too. And,
something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't do 2 or 3 things at once.
Not at that level.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Now we have something called Flip Fabrique.
Oh yes, they're a fantastic Montreal cirque. I was at the Circus Festival, the Complement Cirque, a couple of years ago, and I saw this group, young, all under 30, very intensely circus trained, and they put together this beautiful show. It's got some content. It's about 6 friends who meet at the end of a summer vacation at a house. So there's this sort of melancholy element to it, but then they throw in these amazing feats of aerial dynamics. The entire set is this house, and it's also a trapeze and a trampoline, and it's all very exciting and very like this cutting-edge cirque that gives you all that stuff you expect from a cirque, but also some content.
Okay, well, we'll watch that one now.
Yeah, you definitely see some of what's going to happen in the clip.
a lot of great young artists in Quebec now, aren't there?
Oh yeah, well it's the cirque capital of the world of its kind for sure. Absolutely,
Right.
Montreal is where it's all happening. There's all these academies and places that do those types of things. It's really quite amazing.
Yeah. Now the Cirque du Soleil, that's been in Las Vegas for years now, hasn't it?
It's been going all over the world. They got big tours. There's certain places they can play. You got to have a certain kind of venue
Yeah.
to be able to put on those types of
Right.
huge spectacles like Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil.
Right, Cirque du Soleil, right. Okay, the Triplets of Belleville.
Oh, this is a project I love. It's an animated film from a little while back called Triplets of Belleville. French film about an abducted Tour de France cyclist, and it's the thing you notice when you watch this movie, which is a beautiful film, is how great the music is. It's sort of that hot jazz Django Reinhardt era, sort of updated. And the composer, Benoit Charest, is going to come with his whole group and play the score live with a Foley artist on stage to do all of the sounds as well to this fantastic film. It's something we're doing with the Vermont International Film Festival. So we're excited about that partnership, and I'm really excited to see this film as
Okay,
well.
well, let's watch that.
Okay.
Swinging velvet rendezvous. Maton dancing diddly-doo. Swinging velvet rendezvous. Maton dancing diddly-doo. Voodoo, cancan, valet tabou. Au Belleville, soir, je rendez.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I love that. I love that piece of work.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
going to be great. That's a good family piece. Same with the Cirque as well. And one thing, once a year, twice a year, I love to try to rediscover the roots of the Flynn as an old movie house, and you bring in a film. It has challenges, but it's always great to actually do that and see like a film in a giant film
Right.
house.
That's a great idea.
A film palace.
That's
so,
a great
yeah.
idea. That's wonderful. I like that idea. Now, you have 4 Broadway shows coming this season, but I'd like to talk about Rent.
Sure.
I find it impossible that this is his 20th
20th
anniversary.
anniversary. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it is.
it's a great show. Young artists dealing with the threat and the fear of AIDS, and
Well, I think young unemployed artists living in New York City already makes it 20 years old, right? just from the subject matter, you can tell it's not current. There's no way
Yeah.
they could afford to live there now.
yeah, nobody.
No, it was groundbreaking at the time, absolutely. La Boheme in 1990s New York.
Right.
Amazing piece of work, very influential. As I think I told you before the credits, I learned it's one of the 7 plays to win the Pulitzer Prize and the Best Musical Tony in the same year. And so that's kind of amazing that it has that kind of breadth for serious Pulitzer Prize, and then to be a musical on Broadway and win that as well.
I had an experience with a Cher type person sitting next to me in Boston when we saw the show, and she's sitting there, and based on La Boheme loosely, but anyway, she's sitting there and she looks at her boyfriend and she says, "I didn't know somebody was going to die,"
Oh, yeah.
And she's crying away, and passing her tissues, and but it was very moving.
Oh, there's some heartbreaking moments. In
Oh,
there, for
my
sure.
God.
Well, the story behind the production's heartbreaking. Jonathan Larson, the composer, died the night after the final run through, the day before opening night. So,
Amazing.
kind of
Just-
incredible. And he's 37 or something.
Yeah, he was very young.
Young man.
Very, very young. Yeah. Now Pippin is coming.
Pippin, fun
That's
show.
an unusual topic for a movie, and for a show, and yet I always liked it. It's a musical, The Son of Charlemagne.
Yeah, it's an unusual treatment of an unusual topic
Yeah,
too, because it's by no means a period piece. They don't walk
Right.
around wearing, 9th century
Armors.
French costumes or anything like that. Yeah, it's very much a bizarre 70s. Bob Fosse directed the original, so
Yep.
it's just very much that sort of funhouse look at the world.
Yeah.
And it's taken from a theatrical troupe telling the story of Charlemagne and Pippin.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. I'm a big Bob Fosse fan,
Oh, yeah.
and this is one of my favorite. I love that kind of offbeat thing. And that's the play that made Ben Vereena's star. He just tore it up and won the Tony for that.
There's a great song in that show, and whenever I think of Pippin, I just think of oh, it's time to start living, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just so apropos to a lot of things. You know? It's just, you'd put it in any show. in
You
a
could.
way.
You could.
Yeah,
The best
it's
Broadway
great.
songs are like that. And the last 20 minutes of Pippin to me are as good as any. The big finale is just, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's so weird and so great.
Yeah, weird too. Yeah, weird and great.
Yeah.
Interesting combo.
You can do it.
Yeah. The Momix Dance Company.
Oh, yeah. Moses Pendleton.
Returning to the Flynn.
Oh, yeah. Many times they've been here. Probably 5 or so over the years. You know, Moses Pendleton's from Vermont, so you want to bring his troupe back and do what they can. And this is a recasting of Opus Cactus, which hasn't been here. It's about the American Southwest. And they do their crazy, you know, flowers blooming and animal, 5 dancers being a Gila monster that sort of crawls across the stage. It's all very fabulous and transformative illusion kind of work.
Yeah, they're going to use Native American music for part
Oh, they
of it?
use a wide range of music. They also use Arabic music. Anywhere you can find a desert, they use that kind of music. So it's a really good score. It crosses a lot of different boundaries.
Yeah, great. The ballet from northern Brazil, 30 performers.
Ballet
Colorful
Folklorico.
group.
Yes.
They're coming back too.
They are coming back. Yeah, they're from Bahia, Brazil. That's sort of the New Orleans of Brazil is what I've always thought. It's this actual cultural center with this music and this identity that has just been so solid. And it happens because of the slave trade. That's what brings those West African influences into this other culture, and it creates this incredible, explosive musical and cultural thing that's been going on in Bahia for years. And this, it's a spectacle. It's 38 people, I think, actually, is the number.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And the dancing, the singing, the costumes, the color, it's really a really explosive, vibrant experience. We're going to do a couple of student matinees with that, too, and students just eat it up.
That's great. Yeah. I love this. I love your education program.
I love that education program, too. I can say that because I don't run it or have anything to do with it, but they do. The Flynn Education Program is one of the models in the country. It really is one of the best arts education programs out of a performing arts center in this entire country. And I wish people would say that more to our education program. Tell them how great they are, because it's tremendous what they do.
Well, you have over 35,000 students coming, don't you?
Every year?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's between 35 and 40,000 every year coming in. And that's just the ones that are coming in for the student matinees. They also run classes. We do programs in schools. We do, that's sort of the marquee part of the education program. But the depth and breadth of the education program is astonishing at the Flynn.
Well, it's so wonderful. You're giving the young folks a good time, and yet you're building an audience for the arts.
And educating them too. I mean, I think the show, when we were talking about Ballet Folklorico, it's one of those great experiences where you go and you have an incredible time, but whether you want to or not, you learn something about this region of Brazil. You learn about the cultural vibrancy. It's like when people would go to see Alan Toussaint or the Neville Brothers. You know, they love the show, but whether they know it or not, they're learning something about New Orleans musical culture and the musical culture from that part of the world and how amazing it is. So that happens too.
Well, that's great. I love the student programs, and of course the teachers, help the students prepare for the shows.
Oh yeah, we write study guides for it all. It's a lot of it's in the curriculum. It's very impressive. Really, it's the best stuff we do.
Oh, that's great. I love the Capitol Steps. They're coming back. Lots of fodder this year.
Yeah, if we're still in a mood to laugh, I think it's less than 2 weeks out from the election, so maybe it'll still be funny. We hope. It seems to be getting less and less funny to me by the day, but maybe they'll come in and save it.
It's amazing how they do. You get very serious. Some people get very serious about politics.
That's right.
And but it is amazing what you can laugh at.
Oh yeah. Well, I think satire is the most powerful weapon when it comes to any kind of social issue, and politics is obviously the biggest one.
Yeah, I think sometimes in this country, as I look at the past couple of years, I think we've lost this ability to laugh.
Well, for me, it's been a tough year because Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert aren't there anymore. For me, that was my go-to political satire, my political comedy. So it hasn't been and with the rise of Trump, which hasn't been as funny for me. It's been a less than funny year. So I'm looking forward to that show where I can go and laugh for a while.
Oh yeah, I love them. I really do. Now Garrison Keillor is coming.
He is.
Parejo.
He's got to do something now that he's retired.
Yeah, right. He has to do something, right? And he's doing a solo performance.
That's right.
And people who do solo performances, they're quite unique.
It's a tough gig, for sure, I think, to be able to have the confidence and the material to go stand out there by yourself and just talk and think that you're going to hold a crowd, that's something.
Yeah, yeah. He can do it. Bob Newhart can do it.
There's some people that can do it. A lot of comedians that can do
Yeah.
it. My favorite thing about Garrison Keillor, you read the writers, these technical writers, what people need on stage, and his says, a chair and a glass of water. I can do that.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
But
We
Flynn can
find
do
those.
that. We can find a chair. We can find a spigot somewhere, get some water in there. So that's easy.
That's funny.
But he's formed his own, I think, his own path, his own type of wit, instantly when he's talking or when somebody's been influenced by him with that very kind of quiet, subdued, Midwestern comic approach to topics.
Now, the first time I heard him, I really laughed.
Well, I was surprised doing some research how long he'd been doing it. He did that show in Minnesota Public Radio in 1974.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really howled. All the children are above average,
Yeah, that's right.
All the women are beautiful and things like that. It was just funny.
Well, like I said, he created his own brand of humor, his own kind of radio too. He sort of took a radio concept that was old and totally updated it and brought it into the modern day, and it's still the most popular radio show that they've had. The Car Talk and Prairie Home Companion.
Now, Car Talk I really loved.
I like Prairie Home Companion more myself.
Well, my husband really loved Car Talk,
that's
and
good.
he loves Garrison Keillor too. I mean, I like Car Talk better, I think.
Okay.
But,
well, there's two kinds of people in the world.
Right, absolutely, absolutely, men and women. There you go, or whatever. Anyway, and now Burlington loves jazz.
Yes, it does.
How did the Jazz Fest go?
Jazz Fest went great. It was my favorite of the 4 that I've been to. I just thought it was a beautiful thing. Everything was great except the weather. The weather can be so iffy. And there was that weird night at the tent where it's like 56 degrees in the middle of June. It was just from Mars. I thought I was dreaming it the whole time. But other than that, it was just fantastic. It's my favorite time of year. Music on the streets, music in the tents, music in the venues, music in the restaurants, music everywhere, and just people having a great time. So much of it free, and it's just in the air. It's just part of the city. I think it's really a magical time. I think everybody knows that and loves it.
That's what I was just going to say. You have so much free music, particularly on Church Street.
That's right.
And it's just so festive.
Oh yeah, 3 stages. During the day, that's where all the school bands go. So you always get to see these school bands go up and play, and all the parents and friends sit there and watch them. It's a fabulous time. So it went great.
Now, speaking about jazz, a group is coming. The U.S. Jazz Ambassadors. Now, I've never actually heard of them.
Well, they are the official band of the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army Field Band. It's their jazz group. They're a big band, old school big band. They're tremendous. They play in every style. And one of the reasons we are bringing them in is because it's going to be free, which I don't think we've done. It's a free show. So if you want to come, you just come.
Where is that going to be?
In the Flynn Center for the Performing Arts, in our main theater.
How do you handle that?
We don't know yet.
Good answer.
We haven't figured it out. We're going to figure it out real soon, and by the time this airs, I bet we will have figured it out.
Yeah,
and we'll
well,
know
good.
what to do.
Good. I'm sure you will have.
Yeah, we're going to have some kind of system where I don't think we want to give out tickets in advance. Yeah, I can tell you about the
Yeah,
issues
okay.
with it.
All right.
But the bottom line is we wanted to do a free show and actually present it for people that wanted to come and see it. So
Good.
this was a chance to do that.
Well, that's great. They're going to play some Dixieland. I love Dixieland.
Yeah, they play everything. They'll play Latin American. They play big band. Is their big thing. They do big band score stuff. Ellington, Basie, because they got all those people. They got a great vocalist. They got really talented people that go into this band.
Well, that should be great.
Very tight.
Great opportunity.
Yeah, it's going to be
great
fun.
Opportunity for the community. I applaud
Exactly.
you doing that. That's
Well, thank
great.
you.
That's
We're excited
great.
to do
That's
it.
great.
It's another way to make it more accessible. Got to remove barriers, and this way we remove the financial barrier completely.
That's great. Now, Art Garfunkel. He's kind of
Who?
Art Garfunkel.
Oh, yes,
You
I've
know,
heard of
you remember Art Garfunkel.
Yeah, he was
the
part of-
icon, Yes.
He was part of an American duo, as I recall. So, the American Chad and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
How did you get him?
iconic. Asked him if he wanted to come. Actually, they were looking for dates. It's a weird story, probably too long for here.
Yeah.
But I did get to talk to the original manager of Simon and Garfunkel, who was managing his career briefly. He died since then. But this guy was in his 90s and had all these stories. One of those guys you talk to on the phone, say hello, and 3 hours later, you're like, okay, bye. But he was an incredible guy to talk to. And then eventually, Art's going to come. Beautiful voice, like possibly the best pure harmony singer we've had
a
in
haunting
American pop
voice
music.
almost. It's almost a haunting voice.
I agree that Scarborough Fair kind of sound.
Yeah,
It is very haunting. There's
Yeah.
something in that tenor that's Got a yearning to
really
it.
catches you.
Yearning to it for
really
sure.
catches you. It does.
Yeah, they had a great sound together, didn't they?
Oh,
They really
yeah.
did. There's nothing like it.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
I don't know if they ever got their due either, in that everybody loved them. Like back in the day, I think the music you could listen to in the '60s with your parents were the Beatles and
Yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yep.
Your parents didn't want to listen to the Rolling Stones, but there's so much substance to Simon and Garfunkel. The songs that Simon writes are obviously just amazing, and then the harmonies. Like I said, I think Art Garfunkel is probably the best harmony singer that we've heard in pop music in the rock era.
Wonderful. Yep. Yep. Great. The Lady Smith Black Ensemble is
Ladies and Black Bombas, yeah,
coming-
South Africa's
coming back.
greatest. People love them. They're
Yeah.
so tremendous. I mean, they are the absolute standard bearers for their sound. They relate to Paul Simon, we were just talking about there. He made them international stars. They were already very famous in Africa, particularly South Africa, when he made Graceland. But since then, they've just toured the world over and over. They're just infectious. There's a joy and a beauty in that music, in those male voices that find those harmonies and that sound. It's just something really special and eternal about it. I think it'll always be lasting.
right now. You're co-sponsoring this with the Lane series.
That's a Lane Series co-pro, that's right.
Yeah. Well,
Always
that's good.
happy to
I
do
like
that.
to see collaboration in the arts.
Oh yeah, we do. We love those. We do a few with the Lane every year. Like I said, we're doing that Triplets of Belleville with the film festival. We got lots of collaborations happening.
I like that.
Yeah, it's always more fun
Oh,
to
yeah.
bring in more people.
Yeah.
Seems like a Vermont way to approach it.
I think it is. I think the arts should help one another.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt that way.
Yeah, and the Jazz Festival we were talking about is a collaboration between the Flynn and the city as well. And so that's
Great.
We're always trying to find different ways to collaborate with people and make it all happen.
Yeah. Before I forget,
Mm-hmm.
where would someone call to buy tickets or information? And I know you have a great website.
We do have a really good website. That's where I would go. I would go to www.flynncenter.org, or if you just want to go right to the Tix, you can go to FlynnTix, T-I-X, FLYNNTIX.org. You could call the number too, right? 652-4500. That'll hook you up as well.
It hooks you up with the box office.
It should.
Yeah. We'll hope so.
We'll hope so. Or
We'll
else,
hope so.
or else whoever answers it can hook you up to the
Right,
box
right.
office. I haven't called the box office lately.
No,
I should come more prepared. Clearly.
I must admit, I don't call the box office.
Yeah.
I do things online, or I just send in a form or whatever. I
Yeah,
do.
my mother calls the box office, so it's always good to know the number.
My husband loves to call places, and then he gets frustrated because he gets put from one place to another,
Yeah.
and
Well, when you
Anyway.
call FlynnTix, you talk to a person, not a machine. So there's a very old school Vermont way of doing things. I think.
Well, that's good. That's good. I think it's helpful.
Yeah.
Now, you have a lot of shows booked at the Flynn Space.
Yes.
You like this space?
It's my favorite. I love it. I think it's a tremendous space. I don't know exactly what it is because there's problems with it when in terms of artists coming in. 10-foot ceilings kind of limits. You can't dance if you lift anybody up. Those 4 support beams that get in the way, and yet somehow just magic happens down there. I think it's the intimacy of the artist and the audience being right on top of each other. You can't just phone it in. You can't walk through it because people are right there. And just an electricity passes between artists and audiences. I see it all the time. I saw it every single night at the Jazz Fest, and I see it whenever anybody performs down there. You either hit it out of the park, which is usually what happens. Like there's definitely like a live connection, or it dies completely. And you feel it either way. And I love that you feel the result of the performance, like viscerally. And that's why I love that space. And I love the artists we have coming down there this year. We have crazy Japanese avant-garde artist doing a one-man tribute to Kazuo Ono, who's one of the great modern dancers in the world. Mike Daisy, this tremendous storyteller, noveler, and My Brightest Diamond, these 2 tremendous young women who make challenging, incredible music. I'm very excited about that series down there.
I have always loved the Flynn Space, because when the Vermont stage is there, what you said, to see an expression on a face, it's so meaningful. It just really you're just sucked right in. You really are.
Yep.
There's no question, and no matter what.
I agree with that. I think there's a vibe that you get in Flynn Space that I have rarely felt in a theater. There's something that happens down there. If it's being underground and magnetic vibrations or what it is, but a lot of times you just feel something happening between the artist and the audience there.
Yeah, right. And I love it. I had a daughter who did figure skating, You're going to do a show at Leddy Park.
We
I
are.
can't believe this,
We are.
Steve.
We're
You're
talking
going
about
to do this.
partners. Leddy Park's happy to partner with us. This is a Montreal group called Le Patin Libre, Free Skate, I believe it stands for. And they do modern dance on skates. And they are trained ice skaters, but they all have a disdain for the sort of frou-frou aspects of professional figure skating, like the costumes and the lace and the frills and all the all that stuff.
And the little teeny woman and the big man.
They didn't want to do any of that. They wanted to do exciting sort of street dance, but on skates, using what they knew about moving around on ice. And so a lot of street dancing is simulating that kind of movement, so why not do it? So they do really exciting shows. And for the show they're doing for us, half of it you watch from the stands, and the second half you actually go sit on the ice, and they skate in and around you while it happens. So
Oh, wow.
it's gonna be fun.
Oh.
I'd love to say I know exactly what's gonna happen, but I don't. But I think it's gonna be tremendous. So.
Well, it certainly sounds like you have a wonderful season coming up, something to please everyone.
I hope so.
Something to make people think and enjoy it, and something to help build an artist, helping to get younger audiences interested in the arts, which I think is really great. So thank you for coming again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
And thank you for joining us in Conversations with Kay. Go to the Flynn, you'll have a good time.